Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to another episode of Life with Acadius. I am your host, Acadius, and this is where I tell funny stories about myself. So sit back and enjoy. This is a special Halloween episode, per se, where I'm playing The Evil Within. And I just want to give a special shout out to Sapphire Montana from Twitter. She's one of my fans, and I decided to give her a shout out for being such a great fan. So let's get the story started. It takes place on Halloween a few years back, and anybody who knows me knows I'm a fan of the Halloween films. I love Michael Meyers. Yeah, some of the movies kind of suck, but in general, I love the, basically Halloween 1, 2, 4, and H2O for the most part. Anyway, so I went as Michael Myers for a few years. I had the jumpsuit, the Michael Myers mask. Well, there was this one particular year where I decided to go to the club by myself as Michael Myers, but I'm just going to get really into character. So underneath the Michael Myers mask, I'm wearing what you call a faceless mask. So what it gives the illusion that there's hollowness behind the eyes of the outer layer. So, much like Michael Myers, you can't see the eyes. So I had the jumpsuit, and then I went out and I also bought aquarium tubing, and so I could run it beneath the sleeve, up through the upper chest, beneath the mask, and the end of the tube, straw, whatever, would go into my mouth. Doing so allowed me to order a tasty beverage, and all I had to do was put the palm of my hand over the opening of the bottle or the glass, and the tube would go into the glass, and I would just drink. Easy peasy. And so the night comes, and I get to the club. Now, the only time I would have to reveal my face, because I had no intention of showing my face, is at the front door when they check ID, and the bouncers there, whatever. So I show my face, put the mask on quickly, and I get in there. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how can you order a drink if they can't hear you? Well, dear viewer, I had index cards ready, with, beers written on it, or if I wanted a Jack and Coke or whatever. I think there was like 4 index cards I had. So I get there, and immediately I pull out one of the index cards. I think Heineken on it, because everybody knows I love Heineken. You like a good Heine. Anyway, and he gives me the beer, and he's thinking, well, how is he going to drink it? He's got to take off his mask. He was impressed that I put my palm over the bottle opening, and I start drinking. So I find a comfortable stool over it, because there was 2 bar islands, and I found the one toward behind the dance floor. And I find a seat, and I make myself comfortable. The night starts to progress. I'm not interacting with anybody. I'm just very stoic, very still, like Michael Myers. And, oh, yeah, nerd. I know, that's what you're saying. Yes. I loved it. I love scaring people. So, night's progressing, and as it's progressing, people are like, wait, is he a prop? They couldn't tell if I was real or not. That's how still I was. Even though I figured if they looked at my hands, they could tell I was real. I mean, I had kind of like a dirty soot covering the hands, like Michael Myers' hands are. But people would come up and, just like I could see them, but they couldn't see my eyes. So they're trying to look into the mask, and they're not seeing anything staring back at them. And a few times people would try to, poke me, and I would just grab their hand at the last second, grab them, they'd scream, and everybody would have a laugh. There was one set of girls that slowly were daring each other to touch my hand, and one was cautiously reaching over, and at the very last second, I just grabbed her wrist. You know, and she screams and her friend laughs. So, but at one point though, as the night is progressing, and let me tell you, after a couple hours sitting on that bar stool, perfectly still, my ass was numb. I mean, it was numb. It was not comfortable. You know, so at one point though, I feel something hitting my back. You know, just a thud, and a few seconds pass, and then another thud, another few seconds, and then the third object hits me. Now I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's going on? So I listen, and I can hear, you know, you know, and that's what it sounded like. Oh, I go, great. I got some guys messing with me. So I couldn't have timed this better. So I spin the bar stool around at a steady pace, just perfectly, much like you would see Michael Meyers do if he was sitting in a club at a bar. Anyway, so I spin the chair around, and what do I see? We'll just call them Mo, Larry, and Curly. They were 3 muscle heads, and these guys were big. And you know, I think they were supposed to be like Chippendales or something. But anyway, they're not looking at me. They're just having a good old laugh. And what they were doing is they were throwing ice cubes at me from their drinks. And so I just spin around. I don't react. I'm just staring at them, but they can't see that I'm staring back at them. And finally, they kind of look up, and their faces just went blank. The smiles melted off, and the middle friend, you know, Larry as we'll call him, he's looking at me, and immediately, without missing a beat, he throws his friend to the right, under the bus. You know, we'll call him Mo, and he points to his friend and says he did it. His friend at that point is like, what the hell, dude? You know, but then he's looking at me like I'm gonna lunge at them or whatever. The third guy, Curly, just stood there like, and immediately after the friend's like, he did it, the other one says, we're sorry, we were just playing around, we're sorry. I'm still very still, like a statue, not reacting. But I'll tell you, internally, I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to get my ass handed to me. You know, I was waiting for them. You want to step outside, bro? So anyway, they dispersed. They just were like, sorry, and just left. So another point, though, in the night, this very attractive woman comes up to me. Her and her friends are sitting to my left. And this girl was just, duh, you know. And I kind of glad I didn't talk to her, because I probably would have been, you know, what more than you are now, you idiot. Yes, thank you, Sean Connery. So she comes up to me and she's like, hey, can you take off your mask? She's trying to, you know, convince me to take off the mask. And I'm shaking my head no. She's like, please, you know. And now she puts her hand on my thigh and starts moving her hand up. And then internally, once again, dear viewer, I'm like, and but I knew that it was basically a bet. She was just trying to say, you know, get me to take off the mask so she could do so. And honestly, I was afraid that if I took off the mask, she'd be like, oh, really? That's it? Okay, well, thank you. Thanks, kid. So that was another reason why I didn't take off the mask, because I ain't pretty. So anyway, so much as she tried, I did not take off the mask. I actually did think of showing her my driver's license, like, oh, look, this is what I look like here, you know, take a look. But I didn't, you know, so she gave up after 5 to 10 minutes. So later on, there's a costume contest, which I did not know there was going to be. And everybody's lining up, and there was another Michael Meyers there. He just slapped it on, and he was just being, you know, hey guys, look at me, I'm Michael Meyers. Didn't take it to the degree that I took it. So he gets up there, and people are cheering when he's up there. But then somebody says, wait, that's not the same Michael Meyers. And people look back at me, and I'm still sitting there, and they're like, come on, get up there, get up there. I didn't want to get up there. I didn't want to lose my seat at the bar. Seriously, it was, you know, it was crowded. But I get up there. I didn't win. I wish I could say I did, but when they asked for my name and I actually tried to say it, you know, instead of hearing me say, you know, it sounded like that. So they couldn't understand me. Anyway, I lost to Cheech and Chong. It's fair enough. Now, at this point now, I can't go back to my seat because it's taken. So I just stand. It's like 30 minutes from, you know, closing time. And I stand against the wall just observing, trying to plan out my exit because people are watching. They're watching for me to take off the mask. You know, and I get it. You know, and it's like, wait, who is that guy? So I'm standing against this the wall that looks over to the dance floor. And this couple walks by, and this girlfriend of this guy, drunk is all get out. And she walks by, and she looks at me, she's like, I don't like you. And she slaps me. I mean, she slapped me hard. I mean, I felt it through the mask. She hit me so hard that the mask face went to the right. And it just looked, you know, my body's facing forward, but my face is just almost turned completely around. So, calmly, I adjust it so it's facing forward again. And the boyfriend's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Why, honey, why'd you do that? Why'd you hit Michael Meyers? You know, I'm just like, I didn't even shrug. I just looked at them, and he just quickly moved her along. And so now I'm thinking, okay, how am I going to get out of here? Well, I'll just walk out the front door, walk down it was a very long set of steps that lead up to the club entrance, but, you know, there's railings. Okay, I can do it. So I had it all planned out. Just walk steadily out the front door, out to the car, which I had planned ahead, and it was parked further in the back so that I could just take off the mask. Well, dear viewer, or dear listener, whatever, I didn't take into consideration that suddenly the floor went uneven as you're leaving the club. So now I'm making my grand exit. You know, that Michael Meyers walk. Okay. What happens to me? I lost my footing and I fell on my face. Just whoop, tripped right forward. Boom. Got back up. People are looking like, I was expecting laughter, like, ha ha, hey, Michael Meyers fell. No. They just like, but I, without missing a beat, stood back up, kept on walking, decided not to use the rails. Luckily, I made it down the steps just fine. Now I'm getting to my car. Now there's some people that went out front, and they're watching me. Yeah, oh my god, alright, I didn't expect this. And now they're kind of not following me to the car, but they're just kind of like, okay, he's going to take off his mask, Well, I get into my car, I'm not taking it off. I started up, I can still see out of it, barely. And I get through the parking lot, and I get to the exit of the parking lot, and I just turn right, and once I was out of eyesight, I immediately took off that thing. Could breathe again. I was all sweaty and icky underneath. You just said the word icky. Alright, you're a man. Yes, I said icky. So, that's my story. That is my Halloween story of me being Michael Meyers and the excitement that entailed with it. Nothing totally embarrassing. Well, falling on my face at the end, that was embarrassing. But it was a lot of fun. It was worth it. It was worth it. So, there you are, dear viewer. And until next time, I shall talk to you later. This is Acadius signing off. Bye-bye.